Okay, it's 4:30, and so I know we're still missing a couple people, but I think that just for the sake of expediency and staying on time, I think we can get started and folks can catch up as they join. So Joe, I will hand it over to you to get us started with the COVID review.
Great. Thank you. It's Joe Nicholson, City Manager. Good afternoon, everyone. With regard to the numbers, I think if you reviewed the RIDO data website, you'll see that there's 103 hospitalizations. That was up from last week. Newport's numbers are reported as, again, there's some inconsistency in the data. Depends upon which metric sheet you look at, but we're reported as 5 cases, albeit the running total is at 181, which is up from 173 last week, which that's a delta of 8. I have no explanation for the difference in the 3 cases. The 02840 report is at 165, but the 02841 report at 10 with 173 cases. I think that as to the latter, they just didn't update that sheet. But I'll continue to pry with the RIDO statisticians as to why there's always these continual discrepancies in the numbers. I guess suffice to say, we're at the bottom rung of the positivity rate in terms of a community, as is Middletown. So we can stretch our net a little bit wider. We're at 2%. Again, last month we were at 3%. So, those cases that were increased, those increases, a few weeks ago, I guess 3 weeks ago, and maybe the following 2 weeks before that, seems to be a pattern over the course since Memorial Day of after a long weekend, we get, after a period of a week or two, we get kind of an increase in the cases. So I don't have a reason why those cases bounced those few weeks ago, but I'm glad that there were a few weeks ago and that we're back to this pattern of 5 cases or less, per week. So I think we've done pretty well, and as we turn our sights towards the fall. Masks, we'll continue to hand out the masks. I just had delivered an allotment of an additional 4,000 masks from the state Friday night. And so we'll continue that volunteer program of handing out masks going forward as long as the weather holds out. And I think we're still going to continue to get the number of people in town here, which is great considering, the weather is pretty nice today, a little bit blowy last night and in the morning, but, we'll work in conjunction with some of the businesses on the Take It Outside initiative and maybe collate with some of them on masks. Speaking of the Take It Outside initiative, you all are aware that we submitted an application to Commerce Rhode Island to access some of the funds that the governor has made available with regard to the Take It Outside program. I did get a call this morning complimenting our application, and the decisions on the application will be made today at 4 p.m., a half hour ago. I think we're going to get a decent recommendation, and so I'm optimistic of some amount. The governor increased the $1 million offer just today in a press conference to an additional $4 million. $3 million of that is available in the first round, which again, the decision making is being made right now. The second round applications, which are due tomorrow, if there's money left over, and you're not fully funded in round 1, your application rolls over to into round 2, and you'll be considered for additional funds in round 2. I would say I am optimistic, as I said, that we're going to be receiving some funds in that program. I don't know whether it's the full amount or a partial amount, but I think it's significant that the governor did increase the program because of the number of applicants, and I think because of the strength of a number of communities that submitted applications as well as other nonprofits. that's about all I had planned on reporting today. I know I had indicated in an email to you today that I thought I would perhaps get into the car tax, which is indeed would have been an appropriate topic considering it's a semi-victim of the pandemic. But I think I'm going to hold off on that until the next council meeting, just to report to you on the nuances of the car tax and discuss with you some concerns that we have, considering that we haven't sent the bills out yet. So I'm open to any questions that you'd like. I was on this morning with the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns, which has a weekly press conference at 11. The governor had her press conference at 1. And then at 2:30, we have a municipal officials call. It's for the most part the same information that I'm iterating to you with some interesting tidbits from the governor at her press conference today.
Joe, I wanted to see if we could talk a little bit about Halloween, because I know the governor talked about it this morning or this afternoon in her press conference, and I know I've been getting questions from both the press, but also primarily from residents and parents who are concerned and just have questions about what Newport's doing. And I know we've got I forget what it's being called at the beach, the trick-or-treating at the beach, but I don't know if there's much else to get into there, but I was just hoping
I could comment on it. I mean, the trick-or-treating at the beach, to be honest with you, caught me a little bit off guard, and I have written to my staff to say I need to know what the program is. They haven't fully developed the program. The information that was in the paper today was a little bit premature. So there at least is a plan in the formulating stages to have something that offers, I guess, a drive-through process for children and trick-or-treating. The comments that were made at today's press conference, there's been some guidelines that have been posted today about Halloween. I have not gone through the guidelines. I'll provide them all to you, as well as I think I'll work with Tom Shevlin in shooting out some type of press information on it. I mean, the bottom line is that, it's the obvious, really. If you're sick, don't go out. If you're sick, don't hand out candy. Don't use the bowl for the candy, space it out, and little nuances like that. So I think that's the gist of it for the most part. So nothing dramatic, a little bit different, wear a mask. And not the Halloween mask, but wear the masks that are designed that we all wear every day now, that are designed to inhibit the virus. And as I said, I'll go through the guidelines this evening and work with the communication officer and try to get some information out to the public, because that's the intent of it, is to get the information. We don't have any control over it for the most part, other than our own activities like the beach activity you mentioned, Jamie. But it's really to get the information to the public about life goes on, but there are some things that we still need to take very, very seriously with regard to this. And it always helps to continue to impress upon everyone those little issues.
Thank you, Joe.
Sure.
Justin, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes. Wait, I'm live. Thank you, Joe. So the city has applied for the money from the state, but how will the local businesses actually engage, connect with the city to benefit?
Yeah. That's a good question. I have visited, if you will, a number of those local businesses already, literally just going into them and talking with the respective owners. I'm going to continue that. My plan tomorrow is, the interesting thing about this is a week ago, I think our application was due. The money, the funding was operational as of Monday, or the period of time the funding was operational was supposed to be Monday, but we don't have a decision yet. So depending upon the amount that we are awarded, and as I said, I feel pretty comfortable we're going to get something. I'm going to have to probably tweak the program a little bit, and I'll know that by tomorrow. And I will literally, my plan right now is as I said, I visited some businesses today, and I have in the past couple of weeks. We'll push something out in the press, but I do plan on trying to hit Broadway and hit, the Fame and America's Street corridor, and trying to get a good feel for whether we can roll this out expeditiously. And I have been in touch with the vendors already. They contacted me today. They're going to would supply the equipment, so they're anxious to get going. But I think for the most part, the business community knows what's going on. There are some outliers that don't know what's going on here, and I will try to reach out to them. There's a couple of nonprofits that have reached out to us that I think we can help out with, again, depending upon the amount of money. So it's really, unfortunately, there is, I would have preferred to do it a little more methodical, but this program popped up on the screen. We were able to get the application in 4 days, and here we are, at least threatening to get some money, hopefully an unknown sum tonight, in which we can start rolling out things tomorrow. But I mean, I've been up and down Broadway, spoken to most of the merchants. I've spoken to the various restaurant groups in town already. I've spoken to a number of merchants, retail merchants already. And so it's just revisiting them and trying to figure out, with the amount of money we get awarded, how we're going to handle massaging the costs that the amount that we requested if it's compromised. So we requested.
Just to use it.
Go ahead, please.
So let's just say we get the $150,000 I believe we've asked for. Does the city then give to business A an amount of money equal to what they've identified as their costs? Or does the city buy a tent and 2 heaters for them because they've said that's what they want? No,
the purchase of tents and heaters was cost prohibitive. It was far exceeded that $150,000. We were able to prevail upon Commerce, even though it wasn't set forth in the RFP. It was set forth differently, that we were able to rent that respective equipment, primarily tents and heaters, and all the little support systems that go along with them. I mean, for example, you can't use a mushroom heater underneath the tent. You have to use a propane blower. So we priced all those out. We priced all the tents out, not only as a purchase, but as a rental. The purchase, as I said, is cost prohibitive, and also they'd have to literally make these things, and we just wouldn't have made it in time. We waste things in February. So it's really, we're ready to go out mostly as a rental program, an offering program. We have the ability to rent a tent for you. We have the ability to pick up those costs for a heater. What do you need? We know along Broadway that, roughly the width of the areas that are being taken up by restaurants on Broadway that are in the public way are 16 feet wide. 24 feet by 30 would suffice. So there's different standard sizes of tents that we're going to be offering, and we'll work our way down Main Street, of course. As I said, some of the groups, some of the restaurant groups have said, take care of others before you turn to us. We're a little stronger as a group than we are of others. And I appreciated those comments. And that eliminates quite a few of them, quite frankly. So it's really try to helping out the smaller businesses that, you are all familiar with in terms of restaurants and maybe some merchants. I haven't had since I don't know I know what $150,000 gets us. I don't know what $50,000 gets us. I don't know what $75,000 gets us. I guess I'll just cut it in half. But therein lies the issue that I'll be dealing with tomorrow morning. And the quotes for these things have been turned around pretty quickly anyway, so I'm generally not worried about that. But our primary assault was for tents and heaters.
And so you already have some sense of what the prioritization would be if you only get half or a third of the money you asked for.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
That's correct. Sure.
Joe, I just wanted to underscore what the plan that I'm sure you're putting in place, which is to be able to advertise it widely so that the smaller businesses and restaurants who may not be part of a restaurant association or group, just because they're struggling that much more and spend that much more time working on their business, to make sure that
Right.
they also get word of what's available. We just need to have a
Yeah.
good, solid way to put the information out there about what the
Yes.
city is able to offer.
That's fine. I mean, the word's out there, but we'll not only do that, Susan, but I do plan on, with 1 or 2 staff members visiting every place tomorrow.
Okay,
I need the
including
steps anyways in terms of exercise.
like the RK Plaza.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, we talked about that, sure.
Yeah, up and down Memorial.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't want to, it's, money is the issue here. It's how far we can stretch it,
Yep.
and we want to be fair.
Yep.
Okay, was there anything else to bring up? All right, that's great. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, everybody. I think we can wrap it up.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Nice to see you all.
I just one more quick word. We had 9 Salve students last weekend, and from on 3 different days, and from all reports, they were really good. They brought that college age energy, and it just was a really. The volunteers that worked with them said this is really good, and we anticipate that going forward, at least for the next couple of weekends.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Chris, stay on, will you? Only kidding.